Alright, let's talk about Luke Musgrave, a player who doesn't get talked about a ton, I think, but maybe we should pay more attention to, even though his numbers weren't otherworldly or anything. I do still find him to be an interesting figure for the Green Bay Packers, and one of the many pieces that they have now, right? It's kind of how their receiving core is built, is having a lot of pieces, including their, tight ends, one of which being Luke Musgrave. So I want to get into the film and talk about what I think he does well, what maybe they're, what are things that they can improve upon, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's just get into it. Real quick before we do though, just got to remind you, I have a movie channel. If that's the kind of thing you're interested in, check out, the link is in the description, Jackson Kruger movies. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. But yeah, let's get into Luke Musgrave. Let's start off with this play. This is a fun play, and definitely I think when people talk about the negatives of Luke Musgrave or try to discredit Luke Musgrave, not that there's a lot of Luke Musgrave discreditors out there, but this is probably the one thing you would look towards. But I actually think it's a fun play to break down. So let's just talk about how it works. First, Jordan Love is going to fake as though he's throwing it to the halfback going towards the bottom of the screen. Then he's going to fake as though he's throwing it to the halfback going more towards the top of the screen. This is that Matt LaFleur, being very clever thing. For Musgrave, he's going to start off just blocking on this play, but that's not how he's going to finish the play. He then is going to run more over the middle. That's how this is designed to work. And essentially, those fakes, the running backs can get linebackers out of position. You then have Musgrave blocking, so they might not pick him up right away, and then hopefully he can get open over the middle. When this entire concept works, Love does a good job of the fakes and everything. You see it's working. The Rams linebackers are out of position at this point. Watch Love make a good throw, but honestly, watch Musgrave do a good job in open space and get into the end zone for a touchdown on this play. That's really good stuff from Luke Musgrave. So, yes, it's a great concept, and I think, again, you could use it as a discrediting of Musgrave, saying, well, he has Matt LaFleur. It's pretty easy to be successful when you're in that situation. Well, sure, but the flip side is he works really well in the Matt LaFleur system, which is what they want him to do. So, that's kind of how I view it. There's also stuff like this where it's going to be a cover 3 zone, or excuse me, cover 4 zone that the Rams are in. The way this concept is designed to work, multiple Packers players are going to be running deep shots, kind of trying to push the Rams defenders who are in that area further deep. Musgrave's route is a more over-the-middle route that's going to, hopefully with the Rams players covering those 2 deep shots, hopefully there could be an area cleared out. And as you see, the concept's working. Musgrave gets over there. Love is going to fire in that direction, and it's open. Again, I think these are things that you can look at and say, these are maybe Matt LaFleur highlights more than Musgrave highlights. But, again, every team to some degree that is successful has good offensive play calling, right? It's always going to come hand in hand. I would still say, though, that this is a bit of a high throw. Musgrave is able to do a good job of finding a way to make the grabs. So, again, even in these plays where you can argue they're just, the concept working, he's still doing nice stuff. This one's another one where it's going to be a zone coverage concept, and you see his route. Again, one that can work against zone coverage, kind of this over-the-middle route, but this isn't some crazy Matt LaFleur scheme. There's no play action or anything because it's 3rd and 7. They know it's a passing play. They know where they're going to probably try and pass it. But watch how when this play begins, look at Musgrave doing a very small thing that is always important for players to do if you're going to get open against zone coverage, which is don't give away where you're running when the play begins. That's something I always harp on because the guys who get open consistently in this league do what Musgrave is doing on this play. The Steelers can't move it into where Musgrave is going because they don't know where Musgrave is going. So when he cuts over the middle, he gets wide open. And also, hey, those 2 safeties may be a bit further deep than you had to have them. That maybe was a critique I would also give to Pittsburgh, but still good stuff from Musgrave to be able to pull that off. So you got to give him his credit for sure. But how about something like this then? Okay, I can say all that stuff, concepts, all this, but what about just beating one-on-ones, right? If you're going to be a legitimate good tight end in this league, you do have to at times just be able to win in one-on-one spots. So this route, hey, it's a good route against this type of concept because you have Matt LaFleur as a play caller. You're going to get some good routes against the concepts you're going up against. That's just a benefit you have. Well, when Love takes the snap, you're going to see that, again, when Musgrave cuts towards the bottom of the screen, did a good job, I thought, of once again not giving away where he was going right away, which meant that the linebacker who's covering him kind of gave Musgrave the outside leverage, even though that's what Musgrave wanted. So when Love throws up, the ball in Musgrave's direction, he is able to make the grab, loses it after he was down. It was a catch, so no harm, no foul there. Really good stuff once again for him just being able to get open in these types of situations. But honestly, going over to stuff like this is most of what I see from Musgrave, and I don't mean this in a bad way. This is a lot of what we see, which is you're gonna have a tight end screen, right? I'm not saying this is most of what you see, but what he does on this play. So you see that Musgrave does a good job, fakes as though he's blocking really quickly, gets the ball to him. Love this kind of this fun sidearm action throw to give it to Musgrave. And this is the part where I say this is what a lot of what we see is just, taking the single, right? Don't try to shut everything into a double. Don't try to hit home runs every time. Take what you can get. He's just going to turn, run forward, and eventually gets tackled. And he's just I feel like a solid player who makes solid plays pretty consistently. And there's a lot of value in that. He might not be the superstar tight end that other guys are, but you know what? For a team to be successful, sure, you need star players, you do, but you also need good role players, and to me, Musgrave has at the very least been a good role player. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. I do think he is a nice piece, and again, you could sit here and try to discredit if you want, oh, he's just a product of LaFleur. Well, at the same time, I mean, he fits that system well, and it's funny because people keep saying oh wow, that team was terrible with, that receiving core looked terrible with Rodgers. Clearly, Rodgers just didn't do a great job with that receiving core. And it's well, okay, listen, we can sit here and compare Rodgers and Love and all that stuff, but part of it is, they added Jaden Reed, they added, they added Luke Musgrave. Those are important pieces for this team, and I do think Musgrave being someone who can just consistently come in and play well is good. So for a guy who was picked with pick 42, which is a premium pick, top 50 picks, you expect to get a good player with those picks, and they've gotten a good player. I think part of why maybe he doesn't get the credit some other guys are going to get is just so earlier on, just, not even 10 picks earlier with pick 34, Sam Laporta won. And obviously he had an amazing rookie season at the tight end position. So there's that. Also, Michael Mayer was kind of a big prospect. He was selected one pick later with the Raiders. So, because of that, Musgrave kind of flew under the radar. And it feels like the Packers have for a while had these tight ends that, that just sort of pop up and are good for a little bit and then kind of don't have staying power. I think Musgrave is going to have staying power. I think he's going to be here for a minute. That's just kind of how I view all this. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Luke Musgrave and what he brings to the Green Bay Packers. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.